Joining me now is Belinda Labatte, the CEO of Lomiko Metals. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Well, it's good to be here.
Now, big news for the company within the last few days, receiving funding, or at least an announcement to receive funding from the Department of Defense in the U.S., Natural Resources Canada, $16 million plus, and this is to advance the Loutre Project in Quebec. So how significant is that in terms of just in general, but also in de-risking the project?
Yeah, it's a historic event. In fact, we're one of two of the very first companies that has received concurrent agreements between Canada and the United States. It was part of the Energy Transformation Task Force that was initiated just over a year ago by Prime Minister Trudeau and President Biden. And as people may have seen, graphite is exceedingly important to our economy. And the fact that we are the first Canadian company with a graphite project at our stage of development to receive this funding. So it's $8.35 million from the United States, DOD, Title III financing, and then 4.9 million Canadian from Canada, specifically for metallurgical works. And that is, it is great because what it does is it gives us tremendous leverage to investors' dollar to cover all the studies that we need for a responsible project and take it through PFS, through all the metallurgical studies that we need to be doing to continue to show the full value chain from graphite flotation concentrate to anode grade battery material, as well as to complete the DFS. So it's certainly an exceptional time and opportunity.
And we know that governments want to make sure that Lomiko has skin in the game. And so is this funding contingent upon raising a certain amount of money?
It's designed as a catalyst. So it's, one of several tools that the United States mainly and then Canada are using to ensure a local energy supply chain. And for us, the way it works is that we need to raise the money. In the case of the DOD, it's a 50% match, but there is time and flexibility in how that manifests itself for a duration of 5 years. That's how long the award is set for. And in the case of the NRCan, a funding agreement or contribution agreement, that is over a 3-year period with defined milestones every year, and it's a 75% contribution. So we need to do only 25%. But in fact, they both work very well together so that the metallurgical studies are almost covered by the two announcements.
That's great. Now, in terms of the timeline, most investors would know that these kinds of projects take a while. They don't happen overnight. So you're planning construction by 2027, production 2029. Can you sort of just give us a broad strokes overview of that timeline and how you get there?
That timeline is laid out based upon our best assessment of the timelines of working in Quebec, and it assumes access to capital throughout, which we know is a challenge for companies at our size that are pre-PFS. Now, obviously, these announcements are a big leverage and big move forward for us, but that basically entails a PFS that can be completed within 7 to 9 months when we have that financing complete. We have been doing a lot of metallurgical work already to show that we have anode grade material, and that will now continue with bigger samples. So well over 1 ton, and before we were doing less than 1 ton samples. And that would carry through. Then we have also environmental studies and road studies, road access studies, all the kinds of things that you need to do for a well-run, responsible project in the area that we're in. So that timeline is about right. The grant obviously doesn't assume a construction decision, but it gets us all the way there.
More broadly, looking at the geopolitics and how it may be affecting the graphite sector, we know that the U.S. is putting tariffs, or the Biden administration, tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, battery components, and various other areas. And then if you combine that with a shortfall in graphite that I guess has started last year and is going to continue, apparently. What's the significance of those two things combined in terms of how it may affect Lomiko down the road?
They were all things that we foresaw because we could see the graphite is almost 100% processed in China with technology that exists there, and the material, the minerals, were coming from Africa and other places, and we need to localize all of that. So the fact that it's now moved into tariffs, so Biden announced there'd be a 25% tariff by 2026 for all Chinese graphite, and then 100% on EVs imported from China. It just demarcates the importance of the mineral for any use in North America. And the fact is that we are the largest undeveloped project in Canada in proximity to the United States, with a minimum 15-year mine life, producing about 100,000 tons per year. And so that is according to our PEA. So we really are just so well positioned as an earlier investment. And now you can see that the announcements really underline the technical merits of that project and our vision and strategy.
So this project is the seventh largest graphite deposit in the world, I believe. And so and the stock is undervalued comparatively compared to some peers. So how does Lomiko bridge that gap? How do you get the word out there and to get investors to understand what you're sitting on here?
I think it's a process to get that information out and to really enroll investors in what is a phenomenal investment opportunity, really, to get in earlier on the graphite space in a project that is showing itself as having tremendous merits. And being the seventh largest worldwide is one thing, but being located on the Grenville Graphite Belt in Quebec, which is a safe jurisdiction with access to clean energy and a decarbonized mine model so that we are a net zero climate change project, all of those things are important, and they will manifest themselves, I believe, in the valuation of the stock as we grow the company.
Well, thanks for shedding some light today on Lomiko.
Thank you.
All right, great stuff. Belinda Labatte, the CEO of Lomiko Metals.